When you're going to the doctor and you hear nothing encouraging, that's when your faith is going to have to stand.
In November 2020, Geraldine Baker's husband, David, started having constant nosebleeds. Doctors removed a polyp from his sinus cavity, but soon after, things got worse.
When his face began to swell, I thought he's got an infection, and I told him we need to contact the doctor quickly.
The results of a CT scan shocked the family. David's brother-in-law, Chuck Denny, was there.
They told him he had stage 4 nasal cavity melanoma. The options they gave him, they said surgery wasn't an option because the facial disfigurement would be too massive.
They told us that there was really nothing that they could do. Chemo wasn't for that type that he had.
I'd never seen anybody healed of cancer. Every time I heard the word cancer, it was a death sentence. And I feel like, unless God moved, I feel like David would, he wasn't going to make it.
My first thought was in my teaching is that we need to move into a fast and seek God heal him.
David's face rapidly swelled to the point where he couldn't eat or see out of his right eye. Pastor Mark Gilbert remembers the many prayers from multiple church locations and beyond.
Both church families was praying for David, and there was a multitude of other people. It wasn't just our churches. David used to be a pastor himself, so there's a lot of people that he knows that was praying for him in different areas of the country, just believing God for the turnaround in his life.
Several times a day, we would pray together. And there was times that you felt like you were just lost for words. You felt like that you were only repeating yourself because you were worn out, you were worn down from this sickness.
His condition just kept getting worse, but the prayers at that point, we didn't see much.
This was swelling inside of his mouth as fast as it was on the outside, and he couldn't hardly eat. It was just terrible, and we knew that we were facing a horrible storm in life.
On Easter morning, Dr. Tom Renfro and his wife Sid were visiting their church for a special prayer service. Remembering her husband's own miraculous healing from cancer, Sid was moved with compassion to pray for David.
When I prayed for David, I don't touch people's head. I normally just touch their shoulders, but I did touch his face because I wanted to be very specific and very direct.
I remember standing there and I thought, it's going to come off in her hand, because you could feel such a presence of God's Spirit.
I prayed a prayer that my dad had prayed. By this time tomorrow, this side of your face will look like this side of your face, because that prayer had worked for my dad.
The day after Easter, something amazing happened.
He said, there's a change in my face. Do you see it? I said, I've already seen it.
I looked at my wife and I said, I see a change in my face. She said, I do too, but I was afraid to say anything. So we decided to go eat with her family again. And we said, well, let's just see what they have to say. And they all seen me and they said, that thing's shrinking. And it was just a matter of days, it was gone.
David's tumor vanished, and doctors later confirmed he is now cancer-free. The Bakers are forever thankful to God for answering their prayers.
There's many people that has got a diagnosis like David, and I feel like they saw death. Maybe they prepared for death. But I'd say don't give up. I'd say take His word into your spirit. And I'd say believe it with everything you've got. Because that's what we done.
What I witnessed with David up close and personal with him, I mean, it just boosted my faith. I mean, I know God can do anything, big, little, it don't matter. He can move in anything.
I felt jubilant when I saw the picture and the tumor was gone and he had a normal face.
When I see David now, I think about the benevolence of God, the mercy of God, that God in this state of David's life in his older years, that God has proven his faithfulness to him.
Well, I'm thankful that, what happened, that God healed me. I'm thankful for that. I've never doubted what God was capable of doing. I've always believed that he's the healer, that he can heal cancer, he can heal heart attacks, he can heal anything that's affected man. He can take care of it if we'll just believe him and walk in his word and not let doubt and unbelief, because that stops the hand of God. But I'm very thankful.